Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Is this working well? You guys hear me okay? Good? Great. Awesome. Yeah, well, I'm here today, Carolin Pinegger, COO of GLMall. We are a decentralized online marketplace on the blockchain. And we're here today to talk a little bit about the landscape of e-commerce in Web 2 as it stands today, and how we as GLMall are going to be able to bridge some of those gaps and bring that efficiently into the Web 3 space. I'm going to show you our platform a little bit, and I'm going to talk about how it works, and I hope I can inspire you guys to think about e-commerce on the blockchain within Web 3 in a more innovative way, and see how it can really bridge some gaps for buyers and sellers in the future. So before we embarked on this, we obviously looked at what is needed to bridge these gaps, what gaps are there, and if we were to build a whole new ecosystem within Web3 for e-commerce, what would it take? So here's 6 key factors that we identified. It is an efficient and robust crypto e-commerce solution. You have to have 0 gas fees for crypto buyers, because you obviously have to make sure there's no barriers to entry and everybody can use it and it stays efficient. You have to have flexible payment options, because not everybody is already a Web3 nerd, and we have to make sure we can on- and offboard everybody to be able to participate in this new way of e-commerce. It has to be safe, of course, and decentralized without any intermediaries. That's what the whole Web3 space is about. And we'd be able to offer resiliency to currency volatility and inflation, because as we know, there's a lot of countries that have a lot of volatility and inflation in their native currency. So that's something that crypto, if used correctly, can really help and eliminate. And of course, we want to make sure we offer innovative blockchain marketing solutions, looking at what's working in Web 2 right now in terms of e-commerce marketing, and what we can take from that into Web 3 and how we can do that. So now that we know what it will take, we looked at, okay, why has nobody done that? What are the 3 key challenges of bringing e-commerce from Web 2 to Web 3? And here is the 3 that I wanted to touch on, because these are kind of the top contenders. The high transaction fees. We know that on most chains today, ETH chain, Bitcoin, the transaction fees are high. And especially for microtransactions, if you have multiple transactions in small transactions, it's almost impossible for it to be worth it, to be able to have less gas fees than the actual value for your transaction is. Transactions are slow, again, especially if the transaction value is low. You're competing with higher transactions with higher gas fees. And we all know that in today's day and age, especially with Amazon, nobody is waiting barely 24 hours to get their package, so they're definitely not going to be waiting 24 hours for their payment to go through. So that's something that needs to be solved if we're efficiently taking e-commerce from Web 2 to Web 3. And as a whole, there's just inefficient infrastructure. There's a lot of really great integrations going on between Shopify and exchanges that are trying to get blockchain and cryptocurrencies into e-commerce, but integrations only take us so far. They only take us halfway. It's absolutely the right direction, and it's great that it's happening, but there have to be some projects that basically just build new systems entirely. And that's what we've done as GLMall, and that's what we aspire to do. So what have we been able to overcome from all of these challenges and things that we need to be able to really move from Web 2 e-commerce to Web 3 e-commerce? So with GLMall, we've essentially built a marketplace with a native currency called the GMBT that has 0 gas fees. And our blockchain is powered by coin hours, and I'll go into more technical details a little bit later, and essentially makes buying highly efficient and completely free for the buyer on our marketplace. So that's been a huge, huge success, because that's one of the main challenges as we just looked at. We've made it fast and secure based on a proof of trust consensus algorithm, which is immune to 51% attacks. It's also 300 times faster than the regular ETH chain. And we're using a very particular secure escrow wallet to make sure that buyer funds are stored from when they leave the buyer's wallet to how they get to the merchant's wallet. So there's never a doubt or a fear in the buyer's mind that they just basically send coins from their wallet A to the seller wallet B, and the seller may not actually ever send them the product that they ordered. So there's a secure escrow wallet in the middle that assures that the funds are only going to be distributed to the seller on the blockchain when the buyer confirms that he's received it. The fact that it's flexible and free also makes it really efficient for split transactions. So when you think about today's e-commerce landscape, there's a lot of influencers, there's a lot of sales agents. Being able to offer links, promo codes, and paying sales agents their percentages and commissions is huge. I mean, that's how all social shopping is done at this point. So we wanted to make sure that that's taken onto the blockchain. So now, if the blockchain triggers the payment to the merchant, at the same time, the payment to any commission payments to the agents will also be triggered. And it will go directly into their wallet. So there's no end-of-the-month reconciliation with PayPal, with Shopify collabs, with anything. It's literally at the same time. And arguably, one of the coolest things that this project can do is it can really bring everybody that's unbanked and people that have kind of missed the boat or had to miss the boat on regular Web2 e-commerce because of their situation, because of the country they live in, onto Web3 e-commerce. So this can really make a huge impact for third world countries, for people that literally weren't able to participate before, and now they can. So I just want to show you a little bit about our marketplace, what it looks like. This is our landing page. Currently, you can list products and services on our marketplace, and it's really fast and easy to create your shop. So I want to compare it to maybe something like Etsy. You can just go into our marketplace, you can sign up, you can say, I want to become a seller, and then you just name your shop, you upload your products, you price your products, and boom, there you go, you'll have your shop. You also have to download our wallet, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. We have a fully integrated order management system for buyers and sellers, so you can see what you've ordered, you can manage your orders, you can mark them shipped. So that's all integrated, and it's all geographically based. So if you're only selling locally or if you're selling globally, you can define that through something we call geolocation. So you can do very targeted marketing and targeted selling, which is obviously really, really useful. For our sellers, this essentially enables you to reach new buyers that are more in the crypto and in the Web3 space. And for our buyers, it just gives them the opportunity to participate in a new way of e-commerce, or participate at all if they haven't been able to participate before. So I want to show you a little bit about our purchase flow to make it a little bit more tangible and easy to understand, because I know Web3 and crypto, it's all so mysterious. It's our black magic. So there's a lot of parallels actually between Web2 and Web3 in terms of what GLMall does, with the one exception that it's all on the blockchain. So if you're a seller and a buyer, basically both parties join our marketplace and they download our wallet. They create a profile. The seller will create their shop. The buyer will create their buyer profile, which is very simple, just name, email, and off you go. And then obviously the buyer will start looking for products that the merchant has listed. They will find products and they'll be able to make a purchase with our native cryptocurrency, or they're also going to be able to use some of our integrated payment partners, which we have a couple that allow some of the major currencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Lightning to be used to pay for our goods. And then as you see, once the buyer has actually paid the funds, it does not go to the seller immediately. It goes into the secure escrow wallet, where it's held securely, so the merchant can see that it went in there, that it was paid. But only when the buyer says, yes, I've received my product, will the blockchain trigger the next step, which means the funds are going to go into the merchant's wallet, as well as into any sales agent's wallets that have been able to recommend the product and get commissions. And then everybody's happy. Basically, the merchants receive their GMBT, and the buyer has successfully received their product. So it's a very simple flow. It's a very great use case, and it's pretty similar to Web2, but it's just much more efficient and secure, and just the Web3 application of it. Currently, we support 3 types of GLMall merchants: the native merchants, the integrated merchants, and the customized enterprise merchants. So the native merchants, as I touched on before, are the ones that come to us that don't have an online shop yet, and they can essentially just open up their own online shop from scratch. The integrated merchants are Shopify users, WooCommerce users, and Gambio users. So everybody, I'm sure, knows what Shopify is and WooCommerce. Essentially, if you have a Shopify shop already, you can download the app and you can throw your products onto our marketplace. You can use us as a sales channel that links back into Shopify to check out in Shopify and use their checkout options. But if a merchant also says, I want to be able to sell this in crypto on GLMall, then they can do the checkout on our marketplace. So it's very flexible, very easy. And then the customized enterprise merchants are bigger merchants that have a lot more products to sell, or products that are very, very high in value, like Rolexes, cars, things like that. And with those merchants, we have a couple more options in terms of payment and payout options between fiat and crypto. And our platform is based on a very simple subscription basis. So we have a startup, professional, and enterprise version. If you're a startup and you just want to list up to 100 products on our marketplace at the same time, that is free for you to do. If you have over 500 products, up to 500 products, you're paying us about $19.99 a month to list your products. And if you are an enterprise merchant, it starts at $39.99, and essentially depending on what payout and payment options you're choosing with us. So all that sounds great, but how do we really do it, and what is the blockchain and the coin economy behind it? And that's what I'm going to dive into a little bit in the next 2 slides. We operate on a unique parallel coin solution. So the internal native coin GMBT is a parallel clone token that's always 1-to-1 ratio to a publicly traded Ethereum coin called the GMB. There is 5 billion GMB in circulation, and it's run on the Skyfiber blockchain with an obelisk consensus algorithm, which essentially is based on proof of trust. That is a concept that is not so widely known, but I highly encourage you to look into this because I don't want to bore you guys with the blockchain details. But proof of trust, look it up, and you can really read some more in-depth technical things on it. Here we go. So to explain the cycle a little bit and how you can use your GMB and your GMBT to actually purchase something, I want to walk you through the steps of how do you get the coin, how do you use the coin, how do you get out of our marketplace again to reuse the funds. So there's 2 ways of acquiring the GMBT to transaction coin. Number 1 is you actually acquire the publicly traded coin on KuCoin, that's where it's listed, and then you can swap it into the transaction clone coin on our marketplace when you make a purchase. Or the second option is that you actually purchase the transaction coin from us directly, and then we will handle and back it with the publicly traded coin GMB for you. So you don't have to take the exchange route. This is also a lot easier for people that may not be so well versed in downloading wallets using exchanges. So just making sure there's a couple of different ways and make it easy to enter our system. And then when you swap into our system, as I was mentioning before, you always have a GMBT in your wallet, and for every GMBT that is in our system in your wallet, there's a GMB that's lying in a locked Ethereum wallet for anybody to swap back. So if you want to imagine, only one of the 2 coins can ever be active on any given chain. So if this one's active over here, one is locked for you to swap it back, and if they're active down here, then you're on the external blockchain and you can go back on the exchange and trade it and sell it and do what you like. And then once you're in our system with the GMBT, you can make as many transactions as you want. There is no fees associated with it. And then once the seller has earned it, it goes into their GMBT wallet, and they can go back to the exchanges, swap it out, and use it on the exchange and trade it and go on with their life. This can be done over and over and over, and you can re-enter the cycle or exit the cycle as many times as you want. And it just basically creates a whole token economy within our marketplace. So the more GMBT are used, the more GMB are locked out of liquidity on the external blockchain, which stabilizes the price long term. So this is really great for GMB holders because it's essentially a system that's based off of use and a use case that is just very, very viable and relevant for today's day and age. Lastly, I want to show you our wallet. This is the GMBT wallet. It's integrated. It's a cold wallet for maximum safety, and you can manage your GMBT funds very easily. It currently runs on desktop, on iOS, and on Linux, on Windows, and our Android mobile version. So I encourage you guys to look into it. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and this is the QR code if you guys want to check out our marketplace. It's, of course, live. So thanks for listening, and enjoy the rest of BLOCKCHANCE 2023.